Hello. This is just a video presentation of the box exercise 31 or 32, I forget. Basically, where you take sticky notes, or in my case, index cards, and you write down themes of the source that they're coming from. In this case, sort of like a prelim to the bibliography. Um, I decided to do a video element because I wanted to play both with form, and there's certain ways I wanted to arrange these that can be better explained through video, almost as if in person, and less so through pictures and text, because you can rearrange them in a couple ways. There's actually a couple of maps here I've drawn on the cards, which is why the colored markings on them might not make sense. But first, I'm going to introduce them to you. The first way I'm going to introduce them to you are in historical order of basically the time period that they cover, from earliest to latest. So, without further ado, here's a quick overview. We have first Stratford's Player Ledger, second Stratford Player Ledger, course catalog from the 1940s, The Golden Age of American Musical Theater, An Actor Prepares by Stanislavski, representing Respect for Acting by Uta Hagen, Truth and Comedy by Sharna Halpern, and then finally the Wolf interview that I conducted with JMU's own Professor Wolf. Before I go into rearranging them in any different ways, I'm going to read off some of just the main themes I wrote on each card. So for the first and second Stratford Players Ledger, since they covered the same stuff but two separate texts, the themes I had were theater procedure, involvement at JMU, acting at JMU, and actual history and execution. The next one is the course catalog from the 40s. And as you can see, the themes I wrote down are setting, tone of university, values and emphasis within academics. And the first two are important because, well, the primary text sources within the history of what I want to work with. And they show exactly where the theater department came from, sort of the roots, and we can, from later sources, sort of interpret where that was placed within the time, and then we can see the growth to the current day theater department, and sort of not compare or contrast or not really mark the evolution, but understand the current system better with the context of where it came from in place. Next one is The Golden Age of American Musical Theater by Corinne Naden, and it says root of musical theater and comedy, litmus of theater during the time period of the Golden Age, which did span a large part of what the Stafford Players Ledgers spans. It was pretty similar time, oddly enough. And interconnectivity of theater and comedy. Next one is An Actor Prepares, and this is by Stanislavski. Covers themes as actors' methods, tangible elements of theater, truth in oneself, and character self. Next one is Respect for Acting by Uta Hagen, and it covers becoming the character, and also the vacuum of influence the actor has over the character, unless, of course, vacuum of influence is just the overall theme, but there was some exception within that, which will too specific to be covered in an overview. Truth and Comedy by Sharna Halpern is next, and the themes it covers is comedy in an academic setting, elements of comedy, very tangible, breaks it down, and comedy and the actor, and sort of the relationship between that, or actors actually, since that deals a lot with that. And the last one is The Wolf Interview, and that deals with the theater procedure, acting in academics at JMU, or the curriculum of it, types of comedy and its place, the actor, how everything is actor-centric, and popularity of types of theater. And as you can see from the markings, it comes at it from all different angles, simply because I found that this was a very central piece to my overall research. So one last time, the brown markings you see on the bottom right and left corner sort of show this timeline of historically what they cover. Now if we rearrange these, one second, let me rearrange these according to the red ones, we can actually get rid of these. Again, the Wolf interview I found to be extremely central, and what I found it played into, the red ones, the red line represents sort of a strong theme. So as you can see, I think from right here in this intersection, the theme of truth in the art. So Wolf talked a lot about truth within acting, and that bleeds really well into truth in comedy, as well as an actor prepares, and eventually that culminates in respect for acting. And I sort of connected these two because they bled into each other very much so, in how Stanislavski approaches truth in the actor, and how Charna approaches truth in the comedian. Another way of rearranging these is according to the orange line, which I did of influence. So we could sort of see where exactly, or what exactly influenced what, and how that bled into each other as far as final product is sort of concerned. And let me get rid of this. This one is pretty inclusive in the sense that we can see, the course catalog sort of influenced, because it was very much so the entire community of JMU at the time, influenced the first and second Stratford player ledgers, which influences theater today. So you see how it culminates with the Wolf interview. It's dashed for green for another timeline, which we'll get to a bit later. An actor prepares influenced respect for acting, which also influenced truth in comedy and the current JMU theater culture. And the last timeline we're going to look at is the green one, which is very similar to the orange one, but the green one is more along the lines of where things came from. So red line is the strong element theme of truth. Green line, orange line was sort of what bled into what helped influence what. And the green one sort of just is very, it almost reiterates the orange line with a small exception. As you can see, course catalog, Stratford player, and Wolf review weren't touched. This one was rearranged to show that it's less of, because Stanislavski's did influence Uta Hagen, which influenced the current JMU theater culture, and how Wolf teaches, but more or less the green line is where it came from. So influence and came from are very similar. The part where it differs really is when we get over to the golden age of musical theater and truth and comedy. We can see that while truth and comedy was sort of influenced by an actor prepares, the Stanislavski, where it came from, this modern day version of comedy came from musical theater, and almost actually vice versa as well. Should be sort of two arrows, because they informed each other in their formation. So that's pretty much it.